What's up, guys? This is the President SDR, and if you're watching this video, you want to know how to change brake pads using these simple tools. First, we're going to take the screwdriver and pry off the hubcap. Make sure to drop it on the ground. Good job. Next, we're going to remove the lug nuts. You can use your lug wrench, but to speed up the process, I will use this pneumatic air wrench. Look how fast I'm going. Speedy Gonzalez Jr. Once you've loosened the lug nuts, it is time to put your cheap OEM jack underneath the car. Find the designated spot for the jack. If you do not have one, make sure you use part of the frame. This is the best workout you will get. Okay, tire is up and freely moving. We can go ahead and remove the lug nuts completely. Again, you can use your lug wrench. I'm using the pneumatic tool to speed up the process, and the tire is off. Now we can see the caliper and the rotor and brake pads. We will get our socket. In my case, it's a 13 millimeter, and we will remove the two brake caliper bolts. One, two. Next, we can go ahead and pull off the caliper. And let's set it on top of the rotor, making sure not to hang it by the brake line. Now we can go ahead and slide out the old brake pads. One. One and a half. Two. Now we can remove the brake pad clips from the upper and lower. These clips look worn. Now we can take out our new brake pads. I chose AC Delco OEM as I prefer OEM parts on family vehicles. New pads and new clips. First, we will go ahead and install the new clips, which are pretty self-explanatory. They will fit in just like the old ones. Make sure to double and triple check that they are seated correctly and are flush on all sides. Lower's done. Now it's time for the upper. Making sure the clip sits flush everywhere and is properly seated. Now it's time to install the new brake pads, which you can see have way more brake pad than the old ones. These will slide right in to your brake pad clips. As you can see, with the proper alignment, they slide right into place. Outside is installed. Do the same for the inside. This is what it should look like with your brand new brake pads installed. Now we will pop the hood and have a look at the brake fluid reservoir. As we pry the piston of the brake caliper back into position, sometimes fluid may come up out of this reservoir, and you want to keep an eye on it so that does not happen. Next is prying the pistons back into their original position. There are a few different methods you can use. I first tried the crowbar, which did not work out too well, as you can see from the perplexed look on my face. Time for a better strategy. I got a 5-gallon bucket to lay the caliper on. I found a pair of channel lock pliers. Using the channel locks to turn the piston a quarter of a turn allows the piston to be freed and easier to decompress. You can't tell with my big fat arm in the way, but in just a moment you will see how a quarter turn will free up these pistons. Next, I found a cheap caulking gun I had laying around and used it as a vise. I was amazed at how well this worked. Compress each piston a little bit, one side at a time. Until eventually the pistons will be back into their original position. Now the pistons have enough clearance to be reinstalled. The bleeder cap fell off, so I pressed it back on. Next, install the caliper the same way you took it off, installing the 2 bolts. One, two. Use the 13 millimeter to snug these bolts back up. No need to over tighten. Make sure the caliper is secure and your new brake pads are installed. You're going to now find your tire and remount it. You're going to hand tighten the lug nuts. And then you will tighten them using a crisscross pattern. Time to let the jack down. Remove the jack. Take your crowbar wrench and tighten the lug nuts using a crisscross pattern. Install the hubcap, and you're done, baby.